This story begins with a man named Bill, together with his subordinate and close friend, Eliza. Bill works as the head butler in the house of a famous nobleman named Henry. Henry has 3 daughters, Mary as the first child, Catherine as the second child, and Agatha as the youngest.
Well, I mean this. At 4 o'clock this afternoon...
I, for one, refuse to have any part of it. Ernest Woolley is taking me to London in his new...
One day, Catherine went out with her boyfriend, George. Because Catherine did not agree with the elected leader, she was eventually arrested. At the same time at home, Agatha was being visited by her boyfriend, Brock. While they were gathering, Mary suddenly received a phone call with the news that Catherine had been arrested. The news made Henry feel anxious as well as ashamed. Since that incident, Henry had hardly ever left the house because he was still shaken by what Catherine did. He spent most of his days daydreaming while smoking. One night, Bill came to see him. Seeing that his employer was under pressure, Bill suggested that Henry take his family on a vacation to the Indian Ocean for several months until the news of Catherine's arrest died down. Henry agreed with the suggestion. Bill also added that Henry should bring a supply of 10 packs of cigarettes. According to Bill, smoking in the middle of the sea could give calmness and help forget problems. Hearing that suggestion, Henry felt very grateful to Bill. The next day, Henry and his family left for the vacation using his private ship. Henry's children were seen bringing their partners, except for Mary, who indeed did not have a boyfriend yet.
That's not how my father would...
What would that do?
Yes, I see.
At the beginning of the journey, everything went smoothly. In the middle of the trip, Eliza tried to invite Bill to talk more closely, but Bill refused because he did not have romantic feelings for Eliza.
Yes, Mr.
Designed neither to.
However, one night a huge storm hit their ship. The incident made Henry upset because his vacation turned into a disaster. During the emergency, Henry and the others boarded the lifeboat first, while Bill followed after first saving Eliza, who was still asleep. In the end, Bill and Eliza managed to board the lifeboat and join the others. No one knew how long they had been drifting at sea. They kept rowing, but still had not found land. The situation made them start arguing with each other. In the middle of the argument, Bill saw an island that was not too far away. They immediately rowed toward the island. After landing, Henry told his 2 future sons-in-law, George and Brock, to tie the lifeboat so it would not be carried away by the waves. The 2 of them then tied the lifeboat's rope to something they thought was a rock, but it turned out they had tied it to a turtle. Not long after, the turtle moved toward the sea and carried their lifeboat away. Seeing the incident, Henry immediately got furious and cursed at George and Brock for their carelessness. The lifeboat was their only hope of going home, but now it was gone, carried away by the turtle. Hearing the anger, George could only apologize. Meanwhile, Bill, who was walking through the forest on the island, was suddenly shocked when he saw their lifeboat drifting in the sea. Without thinking long, he immediately ran to the others. When he arrived, Bill immediately asked why they had let the lifeboat drift away. George admitted that it all happened because of his own careless mistake. Right there, Henry then asked Bill whether this island was connected to any other land. Bill explained that the island was truly remote and far from anywhere. Hearing that answer, Mary immediately asked her father to lead and find a way so they could survive on an island like this. Henry actually had no survival skills, but he still tried to follow his daughter's request. Henry, together with his 2 future sons-in-law, tried to start a fire. Henry tried using his glasses to focus sunlight onto a large piece of wood, while Brock tried to start a fire by rubbing sticks together. Seeing their effort, Bill almost wanted to laugh because in his opinion, that method would not work the way they were doing it. In the end, Bill stepped in and showed the correct way to start a fire until the fire finally lit up. Entering the second day, while George and Brock were gathering wood to make a signal, George suddenly saw a ship approaching the island. They immediately got excited and ran to tell the others. Everyone hurried to the shore, but after looking more closely, it turned out the ship was their own, dragged by the waves until it got near the island. Realizing that Bill, as an employee loyal to Henry, immediately went to the ship and took various items that could be used to help them survive.
Oh, thank you.
That night, Bill and Eliza tried to bring food for them as a form of responsibility to their employer. Unfortunately, all their efforts were flatly rejected. That made Bill and Eliza, who had struggled to find the food, feel very disappointed. On the third day, even though Bill and Eliza did not join the main group, they were not too worried because they felt they already had enough equipment to survive on the island. Meanwhile, on the other side, without Bill's presence, Henry's group became even more chaotic. Brock and George really could not be relied on in that kind of situation. Eventually, they started to lose hope and decided to approach Bill to ask for help, except for Mary, who did not go with them. On the fourth day, Mary, who was still too proud, finally dared to go to the ship to get food herself. But because she was not good at swimming, she ended up drowning in the sea. Luckily, Bill came right on time, pulled Mary by the hair, then brought her up onto the ship. After arriving on the ship, Bill immediately gave Mary a drink so her body would warm up and not get cold. After that, Bill went inside the ship to get something. Because he did not appear for quite a while, Mary started to worry that he had run out of breath. Not long after, Bill finally appeared again, carrying clothes. Seeing Bill safe, Mary immediately hugged him. That made Bill very happy, because that kind of attention was something he had long hoped for. Meanwhile, at Henry's house, his wife held an event to remember Henry and his daughters. After several weeks of searching with no results, the family at home began to assume they had died. Time kept passing until, without realizing it, they had already been stranded on the island for 2 years. Now, they already had a simple shelter built by Bill. Because Bill really was skilled at surviving in a place like that, the situation turned around. Now it was Bill who led, and the others followed his directions without objection. Even Henry happily helped Bill, like Bill used to serve him at home. Not only that, Henry's 3 daughters also clearly liked Bill very much. On the island, Bill was truly treated like a leader, and everyone placed full trust in him. On the other side, George's feelings also changed. He no longer loved Catherine, and now was instead attracted to Eliza. Then George tried to get close to Eliza and invited her to hang out. But Eliza refused and immediately drove him away until George escaped through the window. On one occasion, when Eliza was about to give fruit to Bill, Mary grabbed the fruit first and delivered it herself. That incident made Eliza feel annoyed. One day, Bill announced to everyone that day they were free to do anything, including relaxing and playing.
I'm telling you, you are here for 3 years, like a lot of savages.
Hearing that news, they were all very happy and immediately enjoyed the time as much as they could. After returning to the shelter, Bill told Eliza that he was now officially dating Mary. Hearing that confession, Eliza felt sad, because actually she had secretly had feelings for Bill for a long time, but she never dared to express them because she was afraid of being rejected. Bill even said that he planned to get engaged to Mary. That night while they were eating together, Bill asked Henry for permission to marry Mary.
It's no good. Made a wonderful experience for me.
Hearing that, Henry, who now respected Bill very much, immediately agreed, and so did the others. Only Eliza reacted differently. She chose to leave while crying. The next day, they held Bill and Mary's wedding ceremony. Mary was seen being escorted by Henry, together with her 2 younger sisters, to approach Bill.
She said not to wait for her.
And in the face of this congregation.
But right when the ceremony was about to begin, Bill suddenly saw a ship passing not far from the island. Everyone actually saw the ship, but they did not dare to give a signal without Bill's order. Bill, who could not bear to let that chance pass, finally lit an emergency signal. They immediately became happy and ran toward the beach. Unlike the others, Mary instead felt sad because Bill's action made their wedding fail to take place. Mary had actually already felt comfortable living on the island with Bill. When Mary said that, Bill did not say much and instead told her to go. When the ship's captain was talking with Henry, Bill came bringing drinks while dressed like a servant. Bill's appearance made the crew laugh, and Henry himself looked awkward seeing him back looking like that. After returning home, Henry held a big party. There, George was seen acting arrogant and pretending not to know Bill, even though back on the island, it was Bill who saved his life. Besides that, George was now back in a relationship with Catherine. While everyone enjoyed the party and danced with their respective partners, Bill instead went outside alone with mixed feelings. After the party ended, Henry's wife gathered everyone who had been stranded before, then asked who actually made them able to survive for 2 years on the island. At first, Bill tried to hide that he was the one who had helped save everyone. But in the end, Henry's wife found out the truth. The situation made Bill feel uncomfortable, continuing to work for that family. Right then, Bill decided to resign. Bill told Henry that he wanted to start his own business. Henry felt reluctant to let an employee as good as Bill go, but he could not hold back the decision. As a sign of gratitude for Bill's service for decades, Henry wanted to give capital. but Bill refused because he already had pearls that he had collected during the time on the island. Before leaving, Mary begged Bill to take her back to the island so they could live there together in peace, but Bill refused because he felt he was not worthy to live with a rich woman like Mary. Besides Mary, Eliza also offered to go with Bill because she felt they were in the same position. Bill happily accepted the offer. On the other side, Bill's feelings for Eliza also started to grow. The next day, Bill said goodbye to Henry's family. Then Bill left together with Eliza, dressed neatly like nobles. Bill's departure made Mary cry sadly, remembering all the memories they had gone through together on the island.